The Rutgers Quarterly Business Outlook drew a crowd of 300 business leaders from around South Jersey today as they gathered to hear panelists discuss the outlook for the South Jersey economy. Panelists representing the technology, commercial real estate, and tourism sectors were joined by a regional economist from the Federal Reserve Bank of Philadelphia to discuss their outlook for the economy over the coming months. Since 2006, Professional Podcasts has produced a one-hour podcast of the entire panel. For more information on that program, you can visit professionalpodcasts.com and learn how you can download the complete one-hour audio podcast. Here are some excerpts of some of the comments by members of today's panel.
Well, my outlook going forward is that we're going to continue to have growth, that GDP is going to continue increasing. And according to respondents to our Business Outlook survey, which is a survey of manufacturers in our region, they're still looking for growth, both in activity and in employment. And we think that's a pretty good barometer for the rest of the regional economy, too. So we have some headwinds, but I expect there will be growth coming forward.
Until he said even though the credit situation remains tight, banks are interested in lending to qualified borrowers.
I think that we're still in a tough situation as far as credit goes. Banks do have some money to lend, but they're looking for borrowers that they think will pay them back. Banks don't have any interest in letting the money just sort of sit in their accounts. They're more interested in lending because they get a higher return there. But it's just a tough economic climate, and if you ask small businesses what their biggest problem is, usually it's not obtaining credit. It's their level of sales and the level of economic activity.
New Jersey Technology Council President and CEO Maxine Ballin is optimistic about the outlook for technology companies in the New Jersey economy.
We see some light at the end of the tunnel. We're hopeful that that light will not go out. We're basing that on length of time of sales cycles for many of our companies, number of dollars flowing into research and development, federal incentive programs, and just the number of new high-tech establishments that we're seeing coming up over the past couple months.
Greg Charbonneau, the Vice President and Executive Director of the Adventure Aquarium in Camden, says he's optimistic that people will realize that in a stressful economic time, they need to have opportunities for recreation, family travel, and cultural events like visiting the aquarium.
Well, I think from the travel and tourism industry standpoint, we're going to see some positive changes. We're going to see some positive changes because people have the need to experience life in its fullness, and that people work extraordinarily hard. They want to be able to go out and have a really good time. Families want to enrich their children's lives with various cultural attractions. So I think we're going to see a change. And I think with the shift in mindset with the consumer, that they're going to be a little bit more frugal and they're going to change their mindset on how they go about doing things. I think the tour and travel industry will still remain fairly strong. We are seeing trends change to the positive, but one key indicator is the business traveler is going to be key to success for airline industry and hotels as well, because the high-end business traveler is kind of a leading indicator in terms of a shift in that. So when you layer in all the different things that are happening, people's desire to want to be entertained and be educated and have a good time because they work hard, and some of the more recent research, there are positive indications out there that we will see a positive change, especially in 2011.
And as high school students attending a summer business education program at Rutgers-Camden occupied the front row, they heard George Soa, Executive Vice President of Brandywine Realty Trust, talk about the outlook for commercial real estate.
I think things are starting to see signs of stability, and it's still going to be difficult times. But again, the good news is you're starting to see some signs of stability within the industry. Still see a pretty large bifurcation within the lending industry, where fortunately, as a public company like Brandywine, we have very good access to the capital markets again. But on the smaller lender or smaller investor side, we're starting to see some easing, but still very difficult times for them in particular. I think on the good news side, again, you're starting to see tenants manifest their confidence in terms of longer lease terms, where you go back a year and a half ago, 6 months and a year is all they were asking for. Now we're actually able to see some tenants looking for 10-year terms and even in some cases 15-year terms. So again, you're starting to see some positive signs. It's still very tough times, but again, starting to see some signs of stability and actually growth in some sectors.
And if you'd like to hear the complete panel presentation from the Rutgers Quarterly Business Outlook, visit our website, professionalpodcasts.com. In Cherry Hill, this is Steve Lubetkin reporting.